The objectives of writing a negative message are to convey the bad news, to gain acceptance for the bad news, maintain as much goodwill as possible with your audience, maintain a good image for your organization, reduce or eliminate the need for future correspondence on the matter. The 3 steps are planning a negative message, writing a negative message, and completing a negative message. In all likelihood, the reader doesn't want to hear the bad news. So in order to minimize any possible damage to business relationships and to encourage the acceptance of your message, it is important to carefully consider the context in which the reader will receive the message. Consider your purpose truly. Whether it is a straightforward or complicated message, develop a clear purpose and identify the audience's needs. Recipients have a right to expect a true explanation of news given. Selecting the right medium is critical. One of the most critical planning decisions is choosing whether to use the direct or indirect approach. The direct approach opens with the bad news, proceeds to the reasons for the situation or the decision, and ends with a positive statement aimed at maintaining a good relationship with the audience. It makes a shorter message possible, and it allows the audience to reach the main idea of the message in less time. The indirect approach opens with the reason behind the bad news before presenting the bad news itself. It eases the blow and helps readers accept the situation. To determine the best approach for a negative message, consider these questions. Will the bad news come as a shock? Use a direct approach if the audience anticipates the possibility of receiving bad news. However, if the bad news might come as a shock to readers, use the indirect approach to help them prepare for it. Does the reader prefer short messages that get right to the point? If so, use the direct approach. How important is this news to the reader? For minor or routine scenarios, the direct approach is nearly always best. However, if the reader has an emotional investment in the situation, the indirect approach is often better. Do you need to maintain a close working relationship with the reader? The indirect approach will soften the blow of bad news and preserve a positive business relationship. Step 2. Writing a negative message. When preparing a negative message, pay close attention to effectiveness, sensibility, and diplomacy. Keep in mind cultural and organizational differences which may play a role in how the reader interprets the message. Especially when the news is negative, clarity is essential. Audiences must have respect for writers' credibility. Otherwise, they will be more likely to challenge or reject the message. And, as always, protecting your company's image is a prime concern. If one is not careful, a negative message could spin out of control into negative feelings about your company. When using a language that conveys respect and avoid an accusing tone, the audience will likely have a more positive attitude and be more receptive. Using positive words rather than negative words can ease the sense of disappointment the audience may otherwise feel. Step 3. Completing a negative message. Pay careful attention to details in completing a negative message. Ensure content is clear, complete, and concise. Even small flaws are magnified as readers react to negative news. Produce clean, professional documents and proofread carefully to eliminate mistakes. Deliver negative messages promptly and successfully. Delaying the delivery of negative news can be a serious breach of etiquette. Remember that negative messages aren't a matter of being negative, but of communicating negative but necessary information. So knowing how to share negative information in a professional manner is an essential business skill.